A great leader of the people who governs for the people and gets lots of love and respect from the people.
A mild-mannered person who is unmoved by life's destitution is indeed a man of integrity.
Xi is a visionary leader and brilliant strategist.
Xi Jinping is a true leader who has gone through hardship and knows that for China to prosper, poverty must be eradicated. He has done what no other leaders in the world have come close to doing.
Over the past few months, we have spoken to more than 10 foreign sinologists who really shared with us their impressions of Chinese President Xi Jinping and shed light on what they believe makes the leader he is.
That's right, Sylvia. Our contributors have offered sharp observations, exclusive accounts, and insightful opinions that paint a true picture of the Chinese leader and the country that he leads.
Yes, in this episode, Danilo Turk, former president of Slovenia who has met President Xi professionally, and David Ferguson, who got really well acquainted with Xi's written works during his 16 years living in China. Both of them will share with us their Xi impression.
Let's take a look.
I was privileged enough to have 3 meetings in which President Xi was the main interlocutor. I think he is a very firm and very solid leader, but at the same time he genuinely wishes to develop international cooperation to new levels.
President Xi, as a boy, was sent to an intensely poor part of the countryside where he worked and lived as a farmer. And he remained there for 7 years. He had to work for a subsistence living. Is a formative experience which is very, very different from any other major political world leader. It gave him a strength of character that other people do not have. Clearly created in him an integrity which he's carried forward all through his political life up to and including his post as president.
Throughout his decades-long political career, Xi has lived and worked across the length and breadth of China. No matter what his position has been, one thing has never changed: serving the people wholeheartedly and striving for a better life for the Chinese people.
Yes, his commitment and dedication have left a deep impression on every expert we talked to.
From the year 2017, we met President Xi soon after the 19th Congress of the Communist Party of China. We asked President Xi what is meant by the new era. He gave us a very thoughtful reply in which he explained how he understood the needs of the people and went in considerable detail discussing how the needs of the people in China are evolving, and on the other hand, the responsibility of leadership of China to make sure that those needs of the people are well served. I respect the level of commitment of President Xi to explore, to understand the needs of the people, and then develop policy which help meet these needs of the people.
I think it's very interesting to look at President Xi's style in comparison with leaders from the Western developed countries. Western people are very focused on the superiority of their system, which is based on electoral politics. But essentially, it is also based on conflict and confrontation and competition. The Chinese system is built on cooperation and consultation and consensus, serving the people and the country. And that is what you see in the difference between President Xi and some Western leaders. There are 2 very important things that President Xi regularly refers to in his speeches and in the governance of China. He talks a lot about the mass line, and he talks a lot about serving people wholeheartedly. If you're a rural official out in the middle of nowhere and you're faced with a difficult decision and you're not sure whether to do something or not do something, there's a simple question you can ask yourself. if I do this thing, am I serving the people wholeheartedly? And if the answer to the question is yes, then it's the right thing to do. And if the answer to the question is no, then it's not the right thing to do. President Xi emphasizes so often and so firmly the importance of serving the people wholeheartedly.
Do practical things for the people. For decades, wherever President Xi has gone, he has proved his commitment in his deeds as well as words, listening to the people, responding to their needs, addressing their concerns, and bringing real changes that improve lives.
We asked our contributors to tell us what they think are the most outstanding achievements over the past decade in China. Their answers had a common theme: eradicating absolute poverty, cleaning up pollution, rooting out corruption, technological innovation, and more.
Yes, on the ground too, for people like us who live and work here, the triumphs are prominent and impossible to ignore. So many practical and real changes are attributable to President Xi.
He's a leader who understands and responds to the needs of the people, and he knows what's best for the country.
Yes, it's something our experts picked up on too.
I think that for any leadership, there are two basic tasks. One is listening to the people and figuring out what is needed by the people. And secondly, to implement what is agreed to be the need of the people. Now, I think on both of these aspects, the leadership of China has performed very well.
There have been some huge changes in China over the time I've been here, and during the period of President Xi's governance that I find particularly interesting and particularly impressive. China has achieved, in terms of poverty alleviation, what you can reasonably describe as a miracle. They've lifted 100 million people out of absolute poverty in the last 10 years. What China is really good at is setting the direction at the top level and rolling it down and mobilizing vast forces to make sure it turns into reality. The second area where I think huge progress has been made is in terms of the environment. When I came to China, China had a reputation for being a polluted country. Now, in fact, China set a new development direction, but the real change has happened over the last 10 years. I think President Xi personally plays an important role.
Rick, do you know these books?
Of course, Sylvia. Xi Jinping, The Governance of China. In fact, these books are a collection of his major writings and speeches, and in fact, a fourth volume was released in July.
Yes, the latest in the series. Actually, these books offer insight into President Xi Jinping's thoughts and views on a wide range of issues, thinking of them as a window into his governance philosophy and the domestic and foreign policies of the nation writ large.
Sylvia, I would say that these books are essential reading for anybody who wants to know more about China, the CPC, and President Xi Jinping.
One of our contributors, David Ferguson, who is actually the editor of the English language editions of all 4 volumes.
There must have been a tremendous amount of work, and I'm so curious about the insights he has gained by working on these books, especially about how President Xi, a visionary leader, charts the course for China's development.
If you read the books, you see that what you actually have is a pyramid, which starts at the top with the Chinese dream, and then at the next level you have the 2 centenary goals, and beneath that you then have a hierarchy of specific ideas which work from the conceptual down to the concrete. Poverty alleviation and the Belt and Road and cleaning up the environment. All of these fit in Xi Jinping thought, and they fit at the grassroots level where ideas become action. And I think it's very impressive that President Xi should have come up with so many different ideas, covering so many different areas, but they all fit together. They all have a place and they all support each other.
China has demonstrated a very clear and long-term vision in development, so the leadership was able not to speak only about the immediate tasks, but also about the long-term vision of development. And that has been then accompanied by very strong determination and effectiveness.
The Western political system encourages people to look at tomorrow's media headlines and no further. They need to win votes, they need to win elections. Western politicians aren't talking about a centenary goal. Chinese politicians are already planning for 30 years ahead.
His solid work record not only speaks volume independently, but also gives way to perceptions of Xi as a man of determination and action, a man of profound thought and feeling, a man who has a forward-looking vision and is committed to working tirelessly.
That's right, Sylvia. After realizing the first centenary goal of building a moderately prosperous society in all respects, China is forging ahead on the new quest to realize the second centenary goal of fully building a great modern socialist country.
We are looking forward.
Yes, we are.